Google Calendar is a great tool for helping stay organized and manage your day while in the Upperly School District. To get to the Google Calendar, what you'll do is open up any Google homepage or web page. You go to your app launcher, which are looks like the waffle, the 9 icons in the top right corner. If you're not logged in, you won't see the app launcher. So you need to make sure that you're logged into your Google account in order to get that. Once you see that, you can go down and you see calendar right here. You click on calendar and that will take you to calendar. You can also get to the calendar as a taskbar. If you watch the Gmail video, your calendar will be as a daily taskbar on the right-hand side. Once you're in your Google Calendar, you may see lots of different colors. Everything might be the same color. There's a lot of customization that you can do to help you manage your Google Calendar. Top left, you've got your monthly view, just shows you what's going on for the month. Along the left-hand side towards the bottom, you have the calendars that you're subscribing to. If you are working with teachers in a class and they've invited you as a co-teacher, or you would like to see what assignments and things are due for the Google Classrooms, those will all have an individual calendar that's attached to them so that you can see what you've got for it. So, for example, I created a beta class with the new Google Classroom, and I posted some assignments just to show some teachers, and the assignments are right here, and I've given that calendar a specific color. To change the colors of calendars, you can simply click on the three dots, which is your menu bar, and you can select whatever color that you would like to for that calendar. So now I have changed my calendar to be all orange. All of the events that I have for me are now orange. So anything that's on my personal calendar will be there. Just if you see a calendar that you don't want to see, but you might need it later, what you could do is, so this is beta class one, I don't necessarily want to see it, so I can uncheck it. And you notice right here on August 10th and 11th, I had a couple of assignments that have now disappeared. So when I check it, I view that calendar. So if it gets to be too cluttered for you, you can pull that and uncheck the calendars that you don't want to see. What really helps with Google Calendars is color coding. So whatever works for you, you want to find a system. Maybe your first period class that you're going to or working with is going to be blue, then green, then red, and then you can easily see what you have going on. For example, I've got all Southwest Middle School events are purple for me. So anything that's in this dark purple is going to be Southwest Middle School. And then I made a lighter purple. This was uh, new teacher development, staff development. When you view your calendar, by default, you get the month view. You can change here by clicking up at the tab, and you can go to day view, week view, or your schedule view. Schedule view is nice. It gives you what do you have for your daily schedules. It tells you everything that you've got for the day. If you have lots of events, if you don't have a lot of events for the day, you might get a weekly calendar, but it'll fill up and show you about 10 to 15 events going. I like kind of looking at the daily one. You can go to a weekly schedule. The weekly schedule, same thing, just gives you your week. Sunday to Saturday, you set up what you want. In settings, we talked about this for the other ones. You want to make sure that to view calendar settings, you're clicking the cogwheel while in the calendar menu. There are some customization things that you can do. You can change the density and color of your calendar, but one of the things that you definitely are going to want to do is set up your most of your settings are set up by default for you, but one of the things that you can do is if you are setting up to create events, right here, start my week. So I've got my week is set Sunday to Saturday because I use this also for my personal events at home as well. I organize everything into one calendar. But what you can do is you could start your weekday and say, okay, I only want this is my school calendar. It only goes to Monday and it ends on Saturday. So you can change what you want your start dates to be. You can also change down here if you look on the left-hand side where it has your working hours. I've set my working hours to 7 to 4:30 because there's some things that I do after school, before school, but you can either enable or disable working hours and set what are your working hours so that you've got when people are looking to schedule events or find a meeting with you, you're not available after the certain time that you set on your calendar is what it would show on their calendar. So that's a couple of really cool features that you would want to do in settings. To add events to your calendar, just going to go back here, change mine back to the month view, which is what I have mine set at. A couple of things you can do. I can click on the day itself. So if I wanted to add an event for the 15th, I click on it, opens up, gives me a real quick way that I can set up my event. I can set up out of office, just means block my calendar to show that I'm busy. I can set up a reminder, like a task of something that I need to do or have completed, set up the date and the time that I want it to go to. And then here I can select what calendar do I want to attach this to. So you see, I've got lots of different calendars. So maybe this is an event that is specific for my advisory class. So I would set it up and put it into there. Perhaps it was the other thing that I can do is set up from that same the same calendar. I can set up an appointment slot. Appointment slots are nice. Maybe you're working with specific students or you want students to schedule something with you. Appointment slots create a link, and then you can share that link with people, and then they can schedule appointments with you in whatever increments that you would like to do. A more detailed event, you hit the plus in the lower right-hand corner, and this will, again, you can give the event a title, set the date and time. I can set if I want this event to repeat, if this is something that I'm doing every day, maybe I'm working with a certain student or teacher every day from 8 to 9, and I want to set myself a calendar reminder. I can add a location, classroom, wherever it is that I would like to be with it. Every event automatically is generated with a Hangout. Hangouts are virtual meetings that you can do using your Google Chromebook or logging into Google, setting up for Hangouts. By default, every Hangout is titled with your name, but you can change the name of the Google Hangout. I can set up if I want to receive a notification, when do I want that notification to go out and what type of notification. Do I want it to be a text message if I've got my phone number put into here? If I want to have it as an email or a pop-up notification on a device that I'm using. Select what calendar I want it to go to and what color I want it to be, what event color. Then I can also select if I'm just putting something in as, if I put something in as busy, that means somebody else can't connect or speak with me during that event or schedule another event with me. Or I can set up it to make it free. It's just something that I want to do. Guests over here, if I want to add somebody, say that I wanted to add my administrator with it, I just start typing their name and I click them and I can add them into that event. You can also select if you want your guest to be able to modify the event and invite others. If you don't want them, if it's a very specific guest list and you don't want them modifying anything, you can uncheck both of those. One of the things that's neat with your Google Calendar, if you're using it right, is you can find times to meet with people. So as you see here, I've got my Google Calendar and I've set up to find a time that I can meet with Mr. Dibble. And I've got his calendar up here, so it shows that he's busy during this time to this time, and you don't see what's going on, but like I can select, okay, I know he's available here, so it's set here so that I can set up and find a time that I would like to meet that's mutually beneficial. You can have multiple people. Let's say that I wanted to also add the assistant principal at Southwest Middle School. So I'm going to add her as well. And if I do the find a time, so then we should see, and we'd have have times for them there. Really neat way that you can set up and invite people and set up events. Google Calendar is a great tool to use to help keep you organized if you're using it in color coding and using it properly. If you have questions, please see your billing technology coach, and they can help you find ways to integrate your calendar into your day